पंडिता के ऊपर। थर्ड एंड फोर्थ नंबर पे है गोवा एंड रैयान। जो एक्सपेक्टेशंस थी इंडियन फैंस की कि हमारी टीम जीतेगी, अच्छा और ऐसा कुछ हुआ नहीं। देखते हैं कैसा रहता है। मैच ऑफिशियल्स हमारे सीरिया से हैं और मलेशिया से। मैच स्टार्ट होने में बस कुछ ही पल बाकी हैं।
Sox playing left to right. Early probing ball that's picked up by Seratan Fernandez. Seratan Fernandez, one of the local born players. They're a very special football club, FC Goa, part of the movement to make football or soccer a real force in India, a country of course dominated by cricket. There's a man that comes from a country dominated by football very much. Laurent Blanc, a World Cup winner for France in 1998, 55 years of age now, played for Barcelona, Inter Milan, Manchester United, to name but three. A French league title winner as a manager with 2 clubs, 3 times at PSG, 1 time with Bordeaux. His pedigree is there for all to see as the flag goes up for offside, rendering Ishaan Pandita's chasing down of that ball a little bit redundant. In terms of the experience, well, Juan Fernando, not such glamorous names on his CV in terms of management compared to Laurent Blanc, as you can see, clear offside there, but he joined from the Greek team Volos, and with that strong Spanish contingent in the FC Goa squad, you can see why they made that appointment. Another offside flag comes up. Sanson Pereira. Nice quick touch from Seratan Fernandez. There's evidence from what we've seen early on, he's very clean to get forward at every opportunity. There's Glenn Martins, another of the local contingent, born in Goa. Joined Goa this season with very much with the Champions League in mind, you fans, from ATK Mohan Bagan, another club in the ISL. And again, it's very poignant to start the match commentary with best wishes to everyone in India and around the world who we continue to deal with this ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Obviously, it's hitting India at the moment harder than anywhere, and best wishes to everyone. Hope you're safe and well. Glenn Martins. Positive start this for Goa, and they're getting it behind with George Ortiz. George Ortiz has got it off the keeper, and he's given Goa the lead inside 3 minutes. Well, his nose might be banged up, but there's nothing wrong with his feet. And Goa make the perfect start on home turf. Questions over the keeping out of Al Hadri. and a very hopeful ball over the top. He was clearly onside, George Ortiz. A wonderful first touch, the keeper bamboozled, and there was nothing that Mohamed Allah tracking back on the line could do. George Ortiz with just India's second goal ever in the AFC Champions League group stage, and it's given them the dream start against the rock-bottom Qataris of Al Rayyan. Well, that was a goal conceded by Al Rayyan that reeks of a side that are short of confidence at the moment, and at a time where India as a nation could do with a pick-me-up, our FC Goa going to step up to the plate, but there's plenty of time left. It goes without saying, 86 minutes on the clock, and Yassin Brahimi is trying to get the men in black going. Al Rayyan, Rahini gets it to Mufitar. Drifted in by Shoja. And the flag was down, I think. Naif, was he onside here? Well, it was very tight, but I think he was. Did the flag go up? No, it didn't. Goal kick. Well, that incredible record in terms of failure to keep a clean sheet by Al Rayyan. Now only one clean sheet in 19 games, and that came against Goa when the teams met on match day 1. Will take the goal kick short. Edu Bedia. Nice touch and a header and a free kick. No complaints from Mohamed Allah for conceding that foul for the foul on George Ortiz, whose pace has already caught the Qataris out once. I think they feel a bit hard done by Al Rayyan. I was listening to Laurent Blanc's comments in the pre-match press conference. They feel they deserve better against Al-Wahda, and of course they themselves were in front at half-time against Persepolis on match day 2, and also were 2-0 up against Al-Wahda on match day 3, so they put themselves in the position in games to get points, but just fell short. There was some scrambling goalkeeping from Dheeraj Singh. Big moment for the youngster, the 20-year-old who signed from FC Goa this year. Again from ATK Mohan Bagan. Look at the pace down the left being shown by Sanson Pereira. And it had to be a strong challenge from Shoja to get there. Juan Fernando will be really pleased with the start he's seeing here. These boys look up for this. The Gauls with the lead inside 7 minutes. Short throw, finds George Ortiz. He's probing it through, but Mohamed Allah is there. Look at the high press and the energy levels of FC Goa early, and they've won possession back in the Al Rayyan final third. They build with Jan Martins. Now, James Donachie, the Australian at the back, who was guilty, I'm afraid, of conceding a little bit of a soft penalty against Persepolis when they led 1-0 in that game early, only to be back 1-1. Everything's going Goa's way at the moment. Even that ball was kept in by hitting the corner flag, penning Al Rayyan back once more. Qatari shell-shocked after, if you're late to the party, George Ortiz giving Goa a dream start with an early goal. We've seen some big shocks in the AFC Champions League West Zone matches so far this season, most notably Istiklal's 4-1 win against Al Hilal, but that served, I'm sure, as motivation to FC Goa. And George Ortiz's 4th minute goal puts them in the driving seat here. And again, if you are unaware of the game played earlier today in this group, in Group E, the unfortunate result there from FC Goa's point of view is that the 1-0 win for Al-Wahda against Persepolis means that Goa were eliminated before a ball was kicked here, but It would still be something else if they could secure third place in the group, which they will do with a win here today, but there's plenty of defending to do. That's great hustle shown by Johan Bowley. Johan Bowley! Dheeraj Singh stands tall. Still Bowley. He's a real handful for James Donaghy. And it's behind for a corner. James Donaghy is going to be given a torrid time, you fancy, by Johan Bowley, the Ivory Coast man here. Bowley already with 11 goals in the Qatari Star Leagues this season, and Donaghy has to be careful. He was close to a tug of the shirt and maybe conceding another penalty. So we conceded one in this Champions League group stage. It's a confident enough start from Dheeraj Singh. That's the first set-piece opportunity of the contest. Full to Al Rayyan. Abdelaziz is over this. It'll be the outswinger. Plenty of height in that Goa defence, and that strong header gets it away, only as far as Brahimi. He gets it to Al Korabi, and they have to go all the way back, and Goa can push out now. Try and pen them back once more. Mufita. Well, this will be the pattern I fancy. Now Rayyan trying to impose themselves physically with the likes of Brahimi and Johan Bowley up front, particularly Bowley. Whatever happens from here in, James Donaghy and Ivan Gonzalez are going to wake up, I'm sure, with bruises all over their body tomorrow. There's going to be plenty of physical defending at close quarters in this one. But Goa couldn't have dreamed for a better start. Just a word of caution to temper expectations. Remember, Goa led in that game against Persepolis through Edu Bedia. That goal coming in the 14th minute. They scored today in the 4th. Shoja. The energy levels that Goa are showing. What a tackle that is, by the way. Sansa Pereira. Pereira. Now it's with Edu Bedia. Let's play Brandon Fernandez. Gets it back to Edu Bedia. There's space on this right-hand side if they can find Romario. And they find him. Romario looking for another overlapping runner. Romario's cross is deflected out of harm's way by Yassin Brahimi. And they can bring it away, and they've got space to operate with all of a sudden. Played on by Abdelaziz. Well, bearing in mind they've got nothing to play for but pride, I'm wondering whether that might make Al Rayyan more dangerous in terms of coming back to get the better of Goa here, because they're playing for pride, but there's no pressure on them. That's sloppy though. Very well won back initially by Mohamed Allah. But Goa are winning these midfield battles early on. That's more good play by Brandon Fernandez. Already seen history made in this AFC Champions League group stage this season. Teams winning for the first time. In Group A, GMK and Istiklal securing famous victories. FC Goa could beat Al Rayyan here. It would arguably top the lot. Oh, there's a late challenge from Romario. Referee will want a word with Alexander Romario Jesaraj to give him his full name. The Tamil Nadu man, 24 years of age. That nucleus of young, youthful and Indian talent that FC Goa are bringing through, which is so crucial to the development of the Indian Super League and of course the Indian national team that have made giant strides in recent years. Now there's time and space if the control is good, and the control is good from Mufta. Mufta in the middle to Brahimi. Oh, it's fallen to Yassin Bowley, and it's had to be put behind for a corner. Sanson Pereira taking no chances. I thought for a minute he might be feeling his hamstring. I hope he's not done himself a mischief there. It might look on the face of it a silly corner to give away, but you've got to, I think, err on the side of caution, because look at Johan Bodie, who was driving down on the FC Goa goal. The Gores lead Al Rayyan, who go by the name in Qatar of the Lions or the Force. And it's the Force of India that lead with just under a quarter of an hour gone. Can they hold on to it? They've already held on to this lead longer than they held on to the one against Persepolis. Donachie. It's not the most convincing of clearances, but at least it's out for a throw rather than a corner. James Donachie, the Australian, who joined FC Goa from the Newcastle Jets of the A-League, slipping Australia with a pass the island of India. Oh, the flag's up here, he's offside, and I think he half knew it, hence the hesitation on the control from Mufak. Oh, it's marginal, isn't it? Very marginal. I'm in awe of how the assistant referees more often than not get those offside calls spot on. No VAR, of course, in the group stages of this AFC Champions League West Zone matchup. Referee just taking note of Dhiraj Singh trying to steal a couple of metres on the offside call. Dhiraj Singh, see what he was trying to do there, but it's anticipated well by Al Rayyan. And Sanson Pereira ends up conceding the throw. There's a bit of urgency about Al Rayyan now, and they've already been eliminated like FC Goa, but like FC Goa, there's pride here. You don't want to be one of those teams that leaves here without at least winning one game in the group stage. The format has been intense, a game every 3 days. The whole group stage for the West played in just over 2 weeks. Here comes Al Rayyan with a shot that's wide of the mark from Abdulaziz. I'd like to think that Dhiraj Singh had it covered in any event, but just stood off him a little bit too much there. Abdulaziz not really catching it cleanly. Sends it straight to a black shirt. Oh, that's a delightful turn by Yassin Brahimi. Oh, Brahimi in full flight now, and he's got support on his right side if he needs it. Brahimi might look to get this back. Instead, they go to the left where the cross comes in. That'll be a handball, I think, rather than a corner. There's no good denying it when you're rubbing your hand because it hurt. Sanson Pereira. On his left arm. So this is a really dangerous piece of real estate to be defending a set piece. Abdulaziz is over it. They've got plenty of big men forward. There's a big responsibility on Ivan Gonzalez and James Donachie in this situation. Dhiraj Singh's got to be alert for the direct shot on goal. That's why George Ortiz and Brandon Fernandez have gone into the wall. Abdulaziz, but he was trying to be cute and get it to Yassin Brahimi, but it was the FC Goa defence that reacted quickest, and that's nice work from James Donachie. Regular fans of the Indian Super League will be wondering where Igor Angulo is, who was their leading goal scorer in the ISL. He is apparently moving on to pastures new, despite giving those 14 goals. He's not in the Champions League squad. But of course, high tenor of players is quite par for the course, even year by year in the Indian Super League. Brandon Fernandez back for FC Goa as well after that knee injury kept him out for a large part of the Indian Super League campaign. Well, here's a foot race that Ishaan Pandita takes on, gets beaten, and they'll try and build from the back. Rayyan, Ishaan Pandita, who became a bit of a super sub in the ISL last season. There's more evidence, Ishaan Pandita, about how the sport is developing in India, having spent his youth career with the likes of Almeria, Legane and Gymnastic in Spain. He's still only 22. Be a force, I'm sure, both in the ISL and in the Indian national team as well. A couple of caps for India so far. First, I'm sure, of many. 19 minutes gone, and it's George Ortiz's 4th-minute goal that separates the sides after he caught out Al Hadri, the Al Rayyan goalkeeper, and if they could just reduce Al Rayyan to hitting long balls over the top like that one from Al Corby, they'll be happy. Referee again, I think we've seen this, and you've got to credit the referees for it. They're clamping down. On time wasting. Double-edged sword, isn't it? You're delighted your team take the lead early, but the headache now and the nerves from the touchline, never mind from the players. I think the coaching staff puts you through the mill when you get that breakthrough early. They've learned the hard way against Persepolis. It's all very well scoring against these teams, and somewhat surprisingly, they're only 10% behind in the possession battle. I thought it might have been a bit more of a gulf than that, but it's testament to them. They're knocking it about nicely now. James Donachie. Loose pass, it's going to fall perfectly into the path of Brandon Fernandez, and he's got support on the left-hand side as well. It's the goal scorer, George Ortiz, has already shown that he's got pace to burn. Fancy footwork from the referee there. Hannah Hattab of Syria to get out of the way. Rahimi. Rahimi sprays it to the right-hand side where Mohamed Allah is there. But again, Goa looking comfortable enough. They looked a little bit ragged initially after going in front against Persepolis, and the Iranians struck back with 2 goals relatively quickly in response, but Goa are showing good attacking intent here. And you wouldn't rule them out getting another one on the counter. We saw what teams can do on the counter in this competition, and also how possession may be not as an important statistic as it once was in the sport now with these modern game plans that coaches have. Istiklal, who top Group A, averaged less than 25% possession across their 4 games. They had 23% possession against Al Hilal, a former giant of this competition, 2019 champions, and they lost 4-1 against an Istiklal side who just made their chances count when they had the opportunities, and that's certainly what Goa did in the 4th minute through George Ortiz. Gets it back to Glenn Martins. Exactly what he was doing there. I think both Maeve and Ortiz knew we're going to get those decisions as the attacking player every day of the week now in the modern game if you go into the back of somebody like that. Of course, as we get to the business end of the group stage, you sometimes like to update everyone with the as it stands table because we are in the penultimate match day of the round. But just to remind you, Al Wahdah's win against Persepolis earlier tonight, that's crossed the edge of the 6-yard box. Glenn Martins manages to keep it going before Al Rayyan let it go out for a throw. Yes, Al Wahdah beating Persepolis by a 1-0, an early goal in that one as well, incidentally. It was a 6th-minute strike from Tim Matabs. And that's confirmed now that Al-Wada are guaranteed at least a top 2 finish. Persepolis with the 12 points already got in the bag, even if by some turn of events they end up being knocked off top spot by Al-Wada on the final day, they're almost certain to go through your fancy as one of the 3 best runners up. And that of course means this is a dead rubber in the sense that the teams can't qualify, but very much a live rubber in the sense of the torrid form that Laurent Blanc's side have been in. And also, Indian history is on offer here. With FC Goa, this has become the first Indian club to win an AFC Champions League group game. Now, the cards coming out here. He's not happy, Al Corby. But it's half a tug back on George Ortiz. Referee stamping down on the Erdi, the first card of the game, and it goes to Al Corby, who's not, I don't think, one of the 2 players that was a yellow away from missing the last group game. And another free kick. And again, George Ortiz getting involved with Al Corby, who's just been booked. He'll have to be careful here. And of course, poor old George Ortiz has got that protective wrapping around his nose. Doesn't want to think that people are targeting him because of that. But Al Corby, he'd only just been booked. He's entitled to be shown another yellow for that, really. That rugby tackled George Ortiz down to the ground. Well, I'm not entirely sure what Abdulrahman Al Corby is thinking, but he's got to be a very careful boy now, and if he wants to get involved in a personal duel with George Ortiz, he's got to remember he's already a yellow card down in that particular battle. That's come off the head of Mohamed Allah. He's affording himself a cheeky smile there, Juan Fernando. He must be happy. It's a great gig to get after FC Goa relieved Sergio Libero of his duties. And even though they didn't reach the dizzy heights this season that they did last, it's still a decent achievement. They haven't won in the Indian Super League, unlike most leagues in the world, similar to the A-League in that they play a regular season and a playoff to complete. They won the regular season, what's now 2 seasons ago, but the first Premiership in the bag, the actual trophy that follows the playoffs, has alluded them to this point. They were beaten by Mumbai in that semi-final on penalties back in early March. The timing of this Champions League group stage has worked out well for them, with their season finishing a month or so before the Asian Champions League group stage. Of course, the Qatari Stars season is still in progress, if you like. James Donachie. Wretched run. They were red hot favourites to win this game, but they've lost 7 of the last 8 games in the AFC Champions League, including the last 3 in a row, and altogether only one of their last 12. So they came into this year's competition with a wretched recent pedigree, and they have been something of an ever-present in the group stage with 10 appearances now, but never got out the group stage, and that won't change this year. Now, Yassin Brahimi. Not seen much from Rayyan offensively in the last 10 minutes, but Brahimi finds a man in space. That man is Muftar with a cross, headed away by Donachie, belted away by Sansa Pereira. Need to be careful that they don't give Rayyan an easy time of it around about the halfway line, and they're doing just that now by Mangramario to get them moving offensively. Sansa Pereira it around comfortably enough as Eddie Vedia goes down and wins another nice, cheap and easy free kick at the hands of Abdulaziz. There is a danger that Rayyan might let their frustrations get the better of them here. FC Goa have scored from their only shot on goal through the first 27 minutes, and Dheeraj Singh has been called into action to make a couple of decent saves as well. Last time we checked on the possession-ometer, if you like, 55-45 in Al Rayyan's favour. I dare say by half-time that might resemble more in the low 60s. No panic from Al Rayyan yet, still plenty of time to go, but FC Goa nearly navigated 30 minutes. More defending to do for them now, though. Here come the men in black, and there's acres of time and space for Naif, who completely fluffs his line. He had the freedom of the penalty area there, right on the penalty spot. Time to pick his moment, swing his right foot. If he connects with that sweetly either side of Dhiraj Singh, in all likelihood it's 1-1. James Donachie unable to prevent the ball getting to Naif. Here comes Rahimi, the Algerian captain, who's being hassled and harried, put under pressure by Glenn Martins. And now the referee's going to go back for that free kick. Glenn Martins, yeah, the left trailing leg, just bringing down Rahimi. It's a right decision from the referee. Of course, they've got a couple of players ineligible, Al Rayyan, tonight. That doesn't make their task any easier. The Cameroon Frank Com ineligible. Also their midfielder Ahmed Zakiri, or Ahmed Mohamed, I should say, Al Said. They both miss out on this one due to suspension. Both shown red cards in that 1-0 defeat to Al Wahda. I mean, in the scheme of things, bearing in mind they were down to 10 men right on half-time, there's Sanson Pereira's holding his arm. They lost Ahmed Al Said 2 minutes into injury time at the end of the first half, and Frank Com got his second yellow with 22 to go, and they were competitive in that game. It was only when they were down to 9 men they conceded from the penalty spot. Cribbin's goal gave Al Wahda the win there. Cribbin nearly scored an absolute stunner tonight against Pasopolis from inside his own half, but ultimately well saved by Ahmed Yak in the Pasopolis goal. So there was an early goal in that game, and it was the only goal of the matchup. Can FC Goa repeat things here? Can Juan Fernando mastermind a little piece of Indian sporting history? He's got the iPad out. Well, that's a push on the back of Naif. Glenn Martins has to be careful here, because the way the referee's officiating, he might just bring the card out to stamp this out. I think he's saying next time you'll be in bother. And take it now. Here's some space for Al Korbi. Finds Mufta. Laid on well by Shoja. Al Rayyan starting to dominate this, aren't they? Possession's probably hovering around 60-40 now. Created a couple of opportunities immediately after George Ortiz's 4th minute goal, but nothing in the last 10 minutes. Could that change now? Johan Boli gets it back to Yusuf Omar. Looking for an option. Mutaf. Yusuf Omar. Naif. Going down that right-hand side and trying to find him was Al Korbi, but it was well blocked This is a very disciplined, organised and energised performance from FC Goa. I think a lot was said of the team selections of both Goa and Persepolis in that game on match day 4. Suggestion that both teams are maybe saving stronger squads for their matches today. Of course, that backfired on Persepolis, who ended up losing to Al-Wada. But here, FC Goa's strongest possible 11 on all known evidence in terms of the squad at their disposal. Obviously not in the Champions League squad as their top scorer for this season, Igor Angulo, but that aside, George Ortiz and Ishaan Pandita are filling that void at the moment. Time to take on some hydration. Glenn Martins over to the touchline as Dhiraj Singh, no doubt going through with Ivan Gonzalez some of his smart stops earlier in the contest. But at the moment, the game revolves around that goal scored quite brilliantly by George Ortiz in the 4th minute. And questions being asked on the sideline. Wouldn't mind getting a shot to see what Laurent Blanc's body language is like. It can't be too impressive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 games without a win in all competitions. There's a delightful ball over the top. Not the best defending in the world, and George Ortiz's hustle getting the better of Al Hadri in the despairing lunge of Shoja, not enough to keep it out. And I'm sure he's feeling pain with that bandaging on his nose. There's nothing soothes pain like scoring a goal like that in an important match like this. It's making it incredibly tough for him even to breathe with that strapping on the nose. Whether that'll affect his energy levels late on. Must confess as well, got to give credit to that fabulous ball over the top that played George Ortiz in. I mean, there was half a defensive mistake. I don't think there's any mistaking that Yusuf should have done better with the ball over the top. But he still had work to do, George Ortiz. Finished it quite brilliantly. They look up for this, don't they, FC Goa? And even though pride's on the line, with the form they've been in, Laurent Blanc's Rayyan, you could argue, have been not accustomed to winning football matches lately. And that losing run that I spoke of, it came off the back of a 5-game straight winning run, which makes it all the more extraordinary. The point they've managed to pick up in their 4 match days in the Champions League so far, that point against FC Goa on match day 1, beaten despite leading against Persepolis, beaten despite leading against Al-Wada, and then going down by a goal to 0 against Wada, despite being down to 9 men. So their excuses if you want to build a case for being unlucky for only getting 1 point to this point, but excuses don't cut it. Once bitten, twice shy, and you can't keep making excuses for not picking up maximum points. It will go down whatever happens tonight as a disappointing campaign for Al Rayyan. And in contrast, if FC Goa can go on to win this game, it will be considered, well, a moment of history, as simple as that. And they've only now got less than an hour to hold out. Crucially as well, they still look to me capable of maybe grabbing another on the counter-attack. Not like they're going to get one and it was a complete fluke and they won't score another. They've been strong and disciplined here, but broken at the appropriate times. Not been reckless, but have been prepared to go forward when the situation arises. El Corby, Yusuf Umar. Switch it back to this left-hand side where Mufta picks it up. Goa maintaining close contact with every single black shirt in that final third, trying to limit the space that Al Rayyan have got to work with, but Yassin Brahimi's escaped his man. Yassin Brahimi plays it inside to Mufta. Mufta! And Donachie stands strong alongside Seraton Fernandez to get a combined block. Now Seraton Fernandez tries to get it out of his own half and does brilliantly. Now where's the support? Seraton Fernandez. Ishaan Pantiza's herring up on the right-hand side. Seraton Fernandez, and that's got to be a yellow card. Yusuf Umar brings him down. And what about the trouble that Seraton Fernandez is causing Al Rayyan down the right? That's a yellow card. I don't think one was showed. He can consider himself fortunate, Yusuf Umar. But not to worry, it has given Goa their best set-piece opportunity of the game so far. A second goal here, 7 minutes before half-time, would go down very well in the south of India, all over India in fact, a nation that could do with a lift in the current COVID climate. Oh, a shocking delivery from Brandon Fernandez. Rayyan now trying to break quickly with Goa having bodies committed forward for the set piece. It's a nice touch by Mufa. And again in the final third it breaks down. It was nice build-up play from Mufa Kawad. Down with a subsequent pass. Now space for Naif. Brahimi goes through the middle and he'll go down on the edge of the area. And I think that's a case of Seraton Fernandez taking one for the team. He wants the yellow card shown as Yassin Brahimi, but if he wasn't going to show one for Yusuf Umar moments ago, he can't really show one for Seraton Fernandez there. The challenges are almost identical, albeit the one from Fernandez came in a more dangerous position on the field. Now, it's cross your fingers time if you're an FC Goa fan, because the Gauls lead here at the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in Goa, but this is a prime piece of real estate for the Ivory Coast man Johan Bolly to deal with. Capped at international level by his nation. He's a giant of a man, and when you look at it from that angle, the wall looks further than 10 yards back. 4 in the wall. Johan Bolly, Dheeraj Singh waits. Can the Indian stopper stand tall, or will it be the Ivory Coast man that crashes Al Rayyan back on level terms? It'll be the Indian that stands tall. Dheeraj Singh with a brilliant punch away. Well, it's at times like this you do wish, and obviously for reasons that are quite correct, there are no fans in the stadium. Oh, Ivan Gonzalez, I think, is going to pay the price for the challenge that Seraton Fernandez made moments ago, because Ivan Gonzalez who I think may miss the next game now, brought down Yassin Brahimi moments after Seraton Fernandez did the same thing, and I think he's being made an example of there. I think Gonzalez will miss the final match of this AFC Champions League Group E programme against Al Wahda of the UAE. But he can compensate for missing the last game by trying to help his team keep a clean sheet here and record a famous win. Another set piece. They can't keep giving these away. Good delivery in, but a fine header behind. There was nothing much wrong with the delivery by Abdelaziz. But look at that, Ishaan Pandita, a super sub at the ISL this season, tracking back brilliantly. And again, at this stage, a couple of times now, Goa on face value of knocked balls behind for what would seem like cheap corners. But safety first, I think, is a decent commodity. Can they hold out to half-time? That's got to be key. Referee is stamping down on everything that's going on here, getting involved with Naif. He's having a little bit of argy-bargy with Romario. I think they kissed and made up. So important, FC Goa trying out to hold out to half-time. Abdelaziz with a corner delivered, could drop anywhere. And it comes to an Al Rayyan player on the edge of the box, and that was an acrobatic attempt at the overhead kick from Shoja. But the flag was up, and Goa breathe easy once more. I'm not entirely sure what he was trying to do here. It came back in, but it was marginal whether Johan Boli was offside, and there was a player in an offside position, but he wasn't interfering, he was down on the deck injured. Diraj Singh needs to be careful with his time wasting in the first half. It's a dangerous tactic because the referees in this AFC Champions League group stage in the West have been cutting down on the leeway of that particular indiscretion as Sheraton Fernandez sends the ball long. Well, they've managed to keep it under 60%, the Al Rayyan possession Goa. They're currently on 41, and that might go up now. They're down the left with Sanson Pereira. Nice touch from George Ortiz. And still George Ortiz. Finally has it taken off him. It's back with Al Corby. Now Shoja. That's dropped nicely to George Ortiz again. He just wasn't on the same wavelength as Ishaan Pandita, and they can get it clear. Not for long, and that's another late challenge. Referee plays on though. Mohamed Allah not penalised. Referee was right on the spot. Brandon Fernandez is down in agony. So Goa playing with 10 for the moment. And that cannot be a good thing when you've got Yassin Brahimi running at you. Brahimi has it taken off his toes though. Lovely defensive work. This time by Glenn Martins. And now they'll kick it out of play. And they will be able to go over and see just how bad Brandon Fernandez's injury is. Now let's see if there should have been a free kick here. You've seen them given, haven't you? The leg was in there, but it wasn't outrageously late. The way Brandon Fernandez tumbled over and over, I think he was still trying to qualify for the Indian Olympic diving team in Japan. The number of rolls he did there. Definitely got caught. I'm not saying he didn't get caught, but I think there was a certain amount of dramatic license with the reaction. There's Bolly's free kick. It was close enough to Diraj Singh, but what impressed me there was he didn't try and do anything fancy. He's got the fist behind the ball and made sure it travelled a hell of a long distance away from goal. Game's getting very scrappy here, and that's going to suit FC Goa. What you don't like to see is over-the-top time wasting, and quite frankly, it's not going to serve them well this early in the match. Brandon Fernandez down again. She's still down from the previous challenge. I think that's the previous challenge that saw him go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there a 6th one there? Go on, Brandon, one more for luck. 5 tumble over. There's 3, I think, just telling Mohamed Allah, I'll deal with this if they're going to start to try and wind the clock down. Well, they have been outpassed and outpossessed, but they've certainly not been outthought to this point, FC Goa. You get the feeling Juan Fernando sent this team out to win this game tonight, and the boost of getting the early goals given them every opportunity to try and do that. There'll be 4 minutes of time added on. More evidence that FC Goa are wasting their time trying to steal seconds here and there. 4 minutes about fair, I think. Here is Yassin Brahimi. Good work up top by Edu Bedia. Good first touch from Mufta. Here's Al-Corby. Around about this time in proceedings, they had a man sent off, Rayyan, on match day 4 against Al-Wada. So they want to avoid that fate again. Here's Mufta. Mufta with a teasing out swinging corner. Diraj Singh thought about coming for it and then saw, well, it's not going anywhere. I think I'll just let it go. It was the right decision as well. Feels like there's been more than 2 yellow cards shown in this game, but it is just the 2. Ivan Gonzalez and Al-Corby. I think the use off the bench of substitutes is going to decide this game. Laurent Blanc has, even with the 2 players missing with suspension, got a strong enough bench he fancied to call upon to cause FC Goa problems in the second half. The likes of Traore, Al-Kawari, Al-Harazi, they can all come on and make an impact in this game. Goa, they got Romeo Fernandez and Leander. No real game changers there. The game changers for Goa are on the pitch now and they're doing a great job at the moment. There's nothing wrong with the work rate of George Ortiz and Edu Bedia. Seraton Fernandez has been a superstar down the right. And Ishaan Pandita proved he wants to work harder. That's lovely work. Brahimi. And again, Goa stand tall and it's the skipper. Bedia will try and get it away. He's being hassled and harried. Bedia has to be careful. Oh, Brahimi stolen it from him. Bedia, they don't want to give away the penalty. There was half a shout for one by Brahimi as well. Bedia took a chance. Meanwhile, up the other end, hold the back page of the Times of India, Ishaan Pandita. Well, he's forced Al Hadri into a save. End-to-end stuff here, a possible penalty claim at one end. 10 seconds later, Ishaan Pandita very nearly catching Al Hadri out. And that's what Goa have got to do. They can sit back and soak up pressure, but they've got to try and extend this lead on the break because Al Rayyan do not look steady defensively. That's borne out by their shocking recent record of clean sheets. Only 1 clean sheet in their last 18 games, now 19, and that was in the game against Goa. Those games, of course, I'm talking about AFC Champions League games, not domestically, where the defensive record, certainly this season, although not recently, has been a lot better than that. Chasing this down like his life depends on it is Romario. Buying himself some space is Shoja. Don't think they're going to have time to create a chance before the break, are they? Oh, they might do after all that. Diraj Singh recovers well. Well, he played himself into trouble there, Diraj Singh, but then redeemed himself with the assistance of his defenders. He hesitated at a crucial moment, and then just either Diraj Singh or James Donachie got enough on it. Was it Donachie or Diraj? But it was neither, was it? It was Ivan Gonzalez that bailed out his keeper. What it has done, though, with what will be the last play of the half, is it's given Al Rayyan a 4th corner of the contest. Goa have got to survive one more play to go into the break in front. Headed away. Not out of danger yet, though. There'll be one more chance for Brahimi. Next time it leaves that danger area, the referee will blow for full half-time here. And there it goes, and there he blows. So, a fascinating first 45 as our referee, Hannah Hattab of Syria, blows for half-time. It's that man who now can take the bandage off the nose to breathe easy, because George Ortiz, the Spaniard, with a fantastic goal after 4 minutes, managed to bamboozle Al Hadri, and after an initial effort was blocked, stabbed it home for a narrow angle, and it's that goal that separates the sides. Al Rayyan have gone close in what threatens to be a tetchy encounter in the second half. At the break here in India, Al Rayyan 0, FC Goa 1.
Please take a note. Speaking is prohibited in this stadium. Please remember the drink of
James Donachie, and belted away emphatically by Brandon Fernandez. If you're an FC Goa fan or an Indian soccer fan in general, this is going to be a nail-biting second half. Oh, there was not enough pace on that pass to get it past Yusuf Umar, but they do come up at least with the throw. They don't want to pick up any silly yellow cards for time wasting so early in this second half either. Look at this. Dhiraj Singh made a decision to come out. He narrowed the angle and gave nowhere for Al Corby to get the ball under him.